Hello, how's it going? I'm Walker. Today I'm going to show you how our weapon shops works and how our bullet firing system works. So this is going to be just a really short video because I have to leave for work in 30 minutes. I just wanted to get a video done. So let's take a quick look at how I have set up the shops and how our bullet firing system works. So I'm going to start by showing off the weapons themselves. So how the weapons work is that each weapon is its own prefab. So right now we're in pistol 1. That is just a random name we gave to a test weapon just because we had different versions. And so how each weapon works is the primary script is this bullet spawner script. So when I started making the weapons, there were a couple questions that came to mind. The first question was, how many weapons are we going to have in the game? The answer to that was, I don't know, because it was really early. And then the second question was, for X number of weapons, do we want to create a unique script for each weapon? Or do we want to be something that we can just build off of and each weapon can use, and we just change some values? I decided to go with that second option. So if we go into the bullet spawner script, this is the primary script that all of the firing works off of. So if we go into Unity itself, we can see, so right now we're on pistol 1. Here are all the possible settings that we have. So up here we just have a bunch of status related stuff, and right here we have shotgun settings. So number of pellets, shotgun shoots a number of pellets. How many so we're just going to use this pistol 1 for example. How does a pistol shoot? Single fire, sort of semi-automatic, I think that's what it's called. I don't know guns. Just like one at a time at a decent rate, decent speed. So shotgun settings, number of pellets, because this weapon only shoots one bullet, we do one bullet. Consistent spread. Now this I can get into once we get to shotguns. Spread in degrees I can also show you once we get into the shotguns. Burst fire settings. So say that you have a traditional M16, that would make it so that when you press fire, X number of bullets come out. So again, with the pistol, press bullet, one bullet comes out. If we set this number to 3 bullets will come out. And then we can also control the amount of time that it takes between each bullet in the burst. So if you wanted it to be like really slow, like do, you just make that a slightly bigger number. If you want to be fast, just make that a little bit bigger number. Same for all these other settings. Bullet speed, range, damage, piercing, that is, if it hits an enemy, will it go through the enemy? Bullet ricochet amount, that is, if it hits a wall, does it bounce off? As well as size, both in its x-axis and its y-axis. So if we want to have a really long bullet, we can. If we want to have a really tall bullet, we can. As well as just fire rate, how many weapons per clip, how long does it take to reload, does it even use reload at all, some audio stuff, screen shake stuff. Burnout, I'm just going to ignore. That is an old system that we worked with, and I just haven't taken it out because I don't want to break anything. I don't think it's in use right now, but I'm just leaving it as disabled so that nothing breaks. So as I said, I can show you how the pistol works right now, just with its current settings. So I'm going to do play focused. And then I will change some of the settings in real time just so that I can show you the shotgun like I was talking about. So right now, simple, single shot, decent fire rate, and the bullets disappear after a certain distance. Now let's change the shotgun settings. So let's do 5 pellets, not at a consistent spread. I don't remember how this number works actually. Let's just do 30. Now I shoot 5 bullets, not in a consistent spread, at 30 degrees. We can change that up to 20. Just a horde of bullets. I want to reduce the reload speed or the max bullets just so we don't have to reload as much. So just a huge horde of bullets. But then when you mark consistent spread, that makes it so that everything goes in an exact circle. So that gives us a ton of options with how we create shotguns, and even with a shotgun we can change to a shotgun a burst shotgun. Oh, it's at 0 seconds, so let's do 0.5. That's too long, actually. 0.1. So we get a triple spread of shotgun bullets. And then one of my favorite things to create is 360 degrees. It gives a radial shot. So that's how the system works. And how did I design it so that all of this can be done all within one weapon? So the primary way that this works is you're about to, if anybody's like a legitimate programmer here, they're about to be very afraid of the amount of crappy if statements that I have. So let's see. So it starts out, so it starts out just setting up all the stuff. We don't have to worry about that. This is all the stuff to, also don't need to worry about this logic. This is just to, if the weapon has been fired, if it's ready to fire, or if it's reloading, all that stuff to prevent you from firing. Some different states, we don't want the player to be able to fire their weapon while they're in the hub, so we just change the states for once it goes into hub. Now here is the primary function that we use for firing the bullets. So again, let me show you. The main two problems were how do we create a weapon that's a shotgun? How do we create a burst fire weapon? And how can we make it so that we can combine the two if we want to? So how I did that is, so there are two for loops. So the first for loop is for the burst fire, and the second for loop is for the spread. So if you think about it like this, why is it that burst fires first and not spread first? Because let's say that, as I showed, we want a shotgun burst fire. I'm not sure how the logic would work where it's, all right, we have 10 bullets we want to shoot, and we want to shoot them 3 times. If you do the spread first, then you would like shoot each bullet individually at like a different rate or something. I'm not sure. It doesn't work in my head at all because I can't even explain how it could possibly be done. So for burst fire, you do all the logic of like one shot at a time. So burst fire just sets up all the audio and everything in the screen shake, and whether it's using consistent spread or not. This is, if you're looking for how to do consistent spread and not consistent spread with angles, here's how you can do it. So, and then, so like I said, you set up all that logic and then you do the spread. If you only shoot one bullet, you only go through this loop one time. If you shoot 10 bullets, you go through this loop 10 times. Once this loop is done, if there is a burst fire that gets shot, cool, back up to the top, and it does it again. So that system is really super simple. All these numbers were kind of finicky to get working properly, and it's a lot of systems, or it's a lot of settings that all go into each other and then go into the bullet that gets spawned and whatnot. But essentially, the main way that it works is that sets up the burst fire, does all the shotgun settings, repeats if it wants to repeat. Same for the shotgun settings. It repeats and shoots more bullets if there are more bullets to shoot. So at the moment, I don't have like a, is it a shotgun? False. Is it a shotgun? True. Or is it a burst fire? True or false? I'm not using that. It's literally just simply, is it a shotgun? No. Set its number of pellets to 1. Is it a burst fire? No. Set its number of pellets to, or set its number of bullets in the burst to 1. Super simple like that. And then just with that simple system, you can get all these different values in, like all these bullet settings. When we go into the bullet itself, it's just a ton of get and set values, aside from like collisions with stuff, that just sets its values for when it gets spawned. Let's see, where's this start? Yeah, this script is called, all the necessary, this function is called, all the necessary bullets are put in, and then it does its thing like a normal bullet should. So it does really just work all off of all these values, and this is the main thing, that this script is how all of our weapons work. So what we do is, just like pistol 1, we give it a bullet spawner, change all its values. Now it's its own prefab running off of one script, so that we can make as many weapons as we want, all without having to make any other scripts. Only downside is right now there's no like rocket launchers or anything, which we probably should make. Probably would require a new script, though I'm sure I could easily figure out a way to just swap the type of bullet and then boom, problem solved. But that's a problem for another time. So as I had said, we have a bunch of possible weapons we can make, and I showed you making some. I don't know where the heck the weapons are. So yeah, as you can see right here, if we go into a bunch of test weapons, this one is a shotgun, does not shoot in a consistent spread, 45 degrees. This one is a pistol. It's a slow shooting pistol that does a lot of damage. So now is a good time to show you the weapon shop and how exactly we set that up. So like I said, everything runs off of one script, but each thing is its own prefab. This just gets in the way right now. Never mind, I need its background. Get rid of that. So how the weapon shop works right now is, this is just like this is some real in production art, just a bunch of squares. Doesn't look good at all. But how it works is, if we look into the content of it, each of these buttons has a link to the prefab that it uses. So the player starts out with the weapon in the middle, and if you think about it like Final Fantasy X's sphere system. I don't remember the exact name of it. It's been a little bit since I played Final Fantasy X. But think of it like Final Fantasy X's sphere system. You have a sphere, and then there's a path you can go. If you unlock the one up here, line goes up here, and then any node connected to that can now be accessed. So it's a node-based weapon system where you start in the middle, and each direction goes into a different type of weapon. I'll just show you in the game itself. So for this one, I'll maximize it. So if we go into the weapon shop, you can see that this is the one that I currently have. This guy's just in the way. I was just making test art. But this is the one we currently have, and we can see its stats. If this guy wasn't in the way, we would be able to see its stats. 6 damage, 2 reload time, fire rate of 0.75, etc., etc. Let's say we want to go up. Less damage, longer reload time, but it shoots 5 pellets at once in a 45-degree spread. Or let's say, I'm not really feeling the shotgun route. We go this direction. A little bit more damage, longer reload time, less fire rate. This looks kind of like this is a burst weapon, so it has burst. If this guy wasn't in the way, it'd be easier to read. What about this one? Oh yeah, this is a test one I had made just for testing it, so it doesn't follow the logic at all. This is just a 360-degree one, but let's say I purchase that one. Boom. Now all the ones in green, because they're connected to things we've already purchased, are available to purchase. So this one follows the logic of being a fast fire rate weapon. So if we purchase that one and access the next one, yep, a lot faster fire rate, a lot more ammo. And there is in between these direct lines, so like all the up, down right, down left are direct lines, but there is an in between. So if we look at this one, let's see, Where's a good one? So up here we're going in the shotgun direction. Oh yeah, and I guess how it's going to work is that every time you do purchase one, the price is going to increase. I just did it in increments of 2 because we don't have our economy figured out. But we can see that up here on the right, these ones have piercing capability. So do these ones. There's no logic here at the moment. But essentially, this system is how the weapon shops are going to work. We're not entirely sure if every single class is going to have its own unique one. At the moment I think we will, but we'll see how it ends up turning out. This is what happens when you make something when you make a devlog video while a game is being made. So yeah, right now just imagine this being bigger, where you start at a certain spot and then you sort of go like Final Fantasy X sphere grid, where you go one at a time, and each new one that you unlocks another. So like even if we leave, come back, every one that we've already purchased, let's say we want to get to the bottom left over here, buy, red ones. At the moment, blue is currently equipped, red is already purchased, green is purchasable, yellow is highlighted, and then that is how the weapon shop works. So I do need to literally get ready for work right now because I need to leave in about 12 minutes. So hope you enjoyed the video. We have another one in the works right now. I just really wanted to make a video, and the other one's going to take a little bit longer. So have a good one. I'll see you later.